Which of the following is true about big blue octopuses? A. They are named big blue octopuses because they stay the color blue. B. Both males and females die shortly after mating. Or C. They hunt during the night. Only one of those is correct. Keep listening to Formosa Fauna to find out which. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can learn all about the animal kingdom and become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals and I love talking about them. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, you're in the right place. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about Taiwan's yellow-throated martens, big blue octopuses, Formosa black bears released back into the wild, and teaching dogs the names of toys. There have been several newsworthy events in the animal kingdom in Taiwan, which I'm excited to tell you all about in this episode. Yellow-throated martens are small mammals that are native to Taiwan and East Asia. If you aren't familiar with martens, think of a badger or large ferret because they all belong to the weasel family. They are about the exact same length as domestic cats, also nearly the exact same weight. So size-wise, there you go, domestic cats. They have yellow and brown short fur with small faces and round ears. While they do look pretty dang cute, evidenced by the photo accompanied by this episode on podcast platforms and the RTI website, their claws and teeth make them deadly hunters that occasionally prey on mammals larger than them. Please do look at the photo accompanying this episode if you can, as it will not disappoint. If you're not able to see one, if you're listening from the radio, just remember to search up the Formosan yellow-throated marten. So, what has led them to be featured in the news this week? A rare encounter between a yellow-throated marten and a Mikado pheasant was recently recorded by conservation officer Ho Changying in Taiwan's Yushan National Park. Renowned for its rich biodiversity, the park has long been a hotspot for wildlife observation. This particular incident occurred in the Tataka area, where in December, researchers also witnessed a pair of yellow-throated martens engaging in mating behavior for 40 minutes, according to CNA. Ho, who has spent 21 years working in the park, is familiar with seeing martens pursue Formosan muntjac. However, this marked the first time he observed one attempting to hunt a Mikado pheasant. While walking through the forest understory, Ho heard a male Mikado pheasant sound a warning call. Turning around, he saw a yellow-throated marten wearing a tracking collar charging towards the bird. Then a male and female pheasant darted in opposite directions. Though Ho was unable to capture the full scene on camera, he heard the birds leaping into the trees before escaping into a nearby valley, with the marten watching from afar. Primarily carnivorous, yellow-throated martens prey on birds, rodents, snakes, and lizards. They're also known to collaborate in small groups to take down larger prey such as Formosan muntjac and goats, sharing their catch, according to the National Taiwan Museum. These elusive animals typically inhabit mountainous regions at elevations of 2,000 to 3,000 meters. Though their global population is considered stable, they are listed as a Category 2 protected species in Taiwan. Yushan National Park headquarters noted that many aspects of the species' breeding, parenting, and mating behaviors remain a mystery. However, long-term ecological surveys have documented the formation of male alliances among the species. As part of an ongoing research project in the Tataka area, scientists are studying the life cycle of the yellow-throated marten, focusing on estrus timing, mating behavior, and rearing habits. The project recently yielded a major milestone, Taiwan's first ever recorded footage of yellow-throated martens mating. Taiwan is an island that is 70% covered by mountains, lakes, and jungle. Taiwan's early connections to the Pacific and Southeast Asia are well established and are the basis for seeing Taiwan as an ocean nation. Did you know that over 17,000 species thrive in the deep sea where no light penetrates the ocean waves? Or that there are 38,000 different kinds of microbes in just 1 liter of seawater? These were all discoveries made by the Census of Marine Life, a 10-year international effort that assessed the diversity, distribution, and abundance of marine life. Today, you're going to learn all about the big blue octopus. Roaming the waters around almost all of Southeast Asia and Polynesia and Taiwan, these creatures are also known as the blue octopus, day octopus, big blue, and many other names. Most octopuses are carnivores, hunting prey such as shellfish and fish, and mostly while it's dark. The big blue is out and about during the day, stalking its prey usually during the early morning and early evening, though, which is why it is called the day octopus by some. These creatures are fast, agile, shape-shifting, color-changing, and dangerous to their mates. Like many squid and cuttlefish, the big blue octopus can change its appearance to virtually any pattern or shade. Depending on the big blue octopus's mood and intentions, they might pulse in lighter hues when they meet another of their kind. One of the particularly visual displays is called a passing cloud, and it's when the skin color cells chromatophores change in an instant to create cloud-like irregular shapes across their bodies. They typically display such a pattern when they see a possible meal like crabs, prawns, sea snails, and other shellfish, fish, worms, and similar creatures. Then, when they go into attack, they overpower their prey with a toxic saliva from their bites. The big blue octopus may fall victim to sexual cannibalism, however. After mating, sometimes the female octopuses may consume their partner to help them accumulate enough energy to produce eggs and incubate them. The male partners are often called their last snack, as females tend to quit eating after laying a clutch of eggs, and by the time the eggs hatch, the females are dead. The blue-lined octopus has developed a defense mechanism against this, which involves injecting the female with venom during the mating process, paralyzing them to avoid getting eaten. But that is the blue-lined octopus, and we are talking about the big blue octopus. Death after laying eggs is actually considered very common in cephalopods. Part of it is due to the massive amounts of energy and resources it takes to produce and care for the eggs, including finding a safe spot to lay them, which could include hundreds of thousands of eggs. In some species, the females will exhibit self-destructive behavior like biting their own tentacles. As they protect their eggs, they stay nearby and guard them fiercely, not even eating. Then the lack of nourishment contributes to their decline. Theory has it that this is part of natural selection and that the octopuses evolved to prioritize the survival of their offspring over the well-being and survival of the females, because perhaps females increase their chances of passing on their genes if they can ensure their eggs are protected until they hatch. Big blue octopuses typically survive for 12 to 15 months and breed only once. Serving up some survival tips, this segment is intended to give useful advice for how to interact with wildlife safely and what to do in the case of interactions going south. However, I ran across this little trivia question in a card game and thought it would be a nice transition between animal-centric topics. So, listen to the question and potential answers and think about which one you would choose as the answer. Here's the question. What would be the safest hotel room to book in the event of a fire? A. Do not book a room above the 7th floor. Very few fire truck ladders can reach above 7 stories. B. Book your room for the month of April, as that's the month with the lowest incidence of hotel fires. Or C. Pick a room that is closest to a pool and or courtyard. Do not book a street front room. I'll give you the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is A. Apparently, very few fire truck ladders can reach beyond 7 or 8 stories high. While hopefully none of us actually have to pay this any mind, if you do happen to fear getting stuck in a hotel as it's on fire, a very specific fear, you might want to keep that in mind. 2 Formosan black bears were released back into the wild on Tuesday, just a day after they were found caught in traps only 10 meters apart in Taiwan. The bears, a male and female, were discovered Monday afternoon by a village patrol in Taoyuan Yanping Township. The patrol quickly notified the Forestry and Nature Conservation Agency, according to CNA. Veterinarians from the agency assessed the bears at the scene and found that they only had minor injuries. After tranquilizing the animals, officials allowed them to remain in place, while a crowd of about 40 onlookers kept a safe distance. Weighing 60 and 43 kilograms respectively, the bears were released into the forest once they recovered from sedation on Tuesday. This marked the first time 2 Formosan black bears were simultaneously returned to the wild. The local patrol later revisited the area to search for more traps. Taiwan's population of Formosan black bears, estimated between 200 and 600, is gradually increasing, leading more of them to venture into lower altitudes in search of food. Did you know that you can teach your dog the names of their toys? To teach them, start with one toy that your dog has a strong connection to and enjoys playing with. Pick a name for it, then put that toy in front of your dog. Ask your dog to get the toy by name, then reward them with praise and a treat for bringing the toy to you. Repeat this several times to strengthen the connection between that name and that toy. Next, place the toy on the floor with another object that isn't a dog toy, like a book or water bottle. What you want to happen is your dog to think the other object is much less exciting, but still know that it's there and choose the right object. Again, reinforce with treats and praise. Next, put the named toy next to an unnamed toy, preferably not another favorite toy, to make it easier. Ask them to bring you the toy by using the name and reward them. Once they are successful in distinguishing this toy from the others, you can teach them the name of the next toy, starting from the beginning with the steps that we just talked about. If your dog starts to get confused and is consistently choosing the wrong toy, simplify it by returning to a previous or easier step. Then work up when they are more consistent with it. If your dog really enjoys playing with those toys, you may also phase out the treats, instead playing with them with those toys as a reward for bringing you the correct toy. Depending on how well all of this goes, you probably will be splitting the training sessions up a bit, and remember to repeat them regularly to make sure the names have been reinforced. Just to reinforce the name on the first step, this might even take several training sessions in and of itself. You can also eventually make the tasks more challenging. You can put the toy in another room, hide it somewhere, or put it in a pile of other toys. This can become a fun, rewarding activity for both you and your dog, especially good on rainy days when you can't get outside as much. This segment of the show will teach listeners just like you how to train dogs. Starting with the basics, tune in each episode and you'll eventually be able to do just about anything as far as training goes. I don't currently live with any dogs, but find the knowledge widely applicable as I grew up with dogs, hear of people in my circle who are struggling to train their dogs, and run into stray dogs on my way home in Taiwan nearly every day. So if you're like me and don't currently have a way to apply these methods, there's no telling when exactly they might come in handy. The Hsinchu branch of the Forestry and Nature Conservation Agency confirmed 2 sightings of Formosan black bears in Taoyuan's Fuxing district on March 30th, marking the northernmost confirmed appearances of the species in Taiwan since the year 2000. Following the reports, agency officials and members of the Hagay tribe conducted immediate on-site investigations. The first sighting took place around 2 p.m. in a bamboo forest near a 700-meter-high indigenous reserve. A few hours later, a second report came from a nearby slope where a witness heard rustling and then saw a bear leap over a guardrail. Sounds shocking. Although no physical evidence was found at either location, both witnesses provided credible accounts, one offering a detailed description and the other noting a close-range, clear view. Authorities confirmed the animals as being Formosan black bears. Given the proximity of the two locations, just 600 meters apart, it is believed both sightings were of the same bear. The locations are near the Hapen area, close to the border of New Taipei and Yilan, which marked the northern boundary of the species range in a national survey conducted in 2000. Despite being listed as an endangered species under Taiwan's Wildlife Conservation Act since the year 1989, the Formosan black bear population has yet to show very significant recovery. The species continues to face human-related threats, including illegal hunting, traps, habitat loss, road construction, and recreational disruption. Still, the sightings offer a hopeful sign that the bears may be slowly reclaiming parts of their historical range. The agency praised the strong collaboration with the community as a key factor in these conservation gains. With a growing bear population, the agency emphasized the importance of preventing human-wildlife conflict, especially in mountainous areas like Fuxing. Locals are urged to properly store food and secure livestock enclosures. The branch also reminded farmers and indigenous hunters to use wildlife-safe traps. Bear-safe trapping devices are available for request or trade-in through the agency. If a bear is accidentally captured, reporting the incident immediately will avoid penalties, and assistance will be provided to ensure the bear's safe release. For emergencies involving trapped or intruding bears, the public is encouraged to call 1999 or the 24-hour hotline at 0800 000 930. In English, we use a large variety of idioms, a large number of which have something to do with animals. I think some of the most frequently heard idioms are those such as hold your horses, telling somebody to wait or be patient, the elephant in the room, ants in your pants, busy bee, a fish out of water, or cat got your tongue, something like that. But there are quite a few more, and some of them which I'm not too familiar with, or rather some that aren't quite as self-explanatory, such as a dark horse. Think of that one. You know what that one means? It sort of means to be mysterious or unknown in terms of abilities or intentions. For example, no one expected Jeremy to win the marathon. He was a dark horse in the race. A rather cute one is a whale of a time. It means to have a very enjoyable or exciting time. For example, my family had a whale of a time at the amusement park yesterday. And because we've talked quite a bit about rats on Formosa Fauna, how about this one? To smell a rat. It means to sense something that is wrong or dishonest. For example, I smelled a rat when he offered me a deal that seemed too good to be true. And there you go. So if you weren't able to retain some of those more, harder facts about the animals, you can at least add something to your English vocabulary. Have there been any other animal-related news stories or current events that you've heard of or that have happened in your life that you would like to share about? You can send whatever that is over to me by email at tristan@rti.org.tw. That is tristan@rti.org.tw. Making it to the end of an episode makes you a Formosa Fauna friend. Thank you for tuning in, friend. All animals require enrichment, and Formosa Fauna is one kind of enrichment. After all, we're all just a bunch of wild animals. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.